Hello, I'm making a game. Here's the game. A level has a bunch of enemies, you have a bunch of aliens, you control them one at a time, and you have a limited amount of time to be that alien, but when you swap to the other aliens, everything you did as the previous one, they do that again, and then you do that, they work together, and you kill them all, and you win, and it's awesome, and that's the game explained in record time. I made another video on it. So I like kind of booted it and then that's it. It's kind of funny. It was a bad video. This video will be better, kind of. So I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of things to the game. Not as much as I would like to have done, but it's progress and you gotta appreciate that. So what have I done? I'll tell you. I'm gonna burp. Look away. Turn your ears away. I made cool art for a lot of the things in the game. It's not final, but I'm happy with it. I used the UFO 50 palette because I like how that game looks, and I like how the color palette looks, and I like how the things I make look when I use it. I'm not going to talk about the process of making the art because I don't know what it was. I kind of just make things, and it doesn't look terrible, so I keep it. Right now there's 3 playable aliens in the game. There's this one who can teleport. I think you could probably beat most of the levels with just her if you were fast enough, but I don't think anyone's reasonably that fast. There's this guy who bites people. They can walk a little bit faster than the other two to compensate for that they're a melee character. But to kind of raise the skill ceiling, whenever you kill someone as them, they kind of lunge in the direction that you were aiming when you killed them. And there's this one who has guns. Originally they just had one gun and would, you know, shoot it, but I wanted to kind of make it a bit more unique, so I just gave it 2. I thought about making it like my friend Pedro, where you can aim them somewhat independently, but I want to try and keep the same control scheme for all of the different aliens, just to keep it consistent and understandable. I have ideas for other aliens, but the only concept I have that's kind of fleshed out is this one that would have like a tentacle that they can use to move around or to move enemies around. So they wouldn't be able to kill anyone, but they would be able to put enemies in better positions for other aliens to be able to kill them. Gameplay wise, it would probably just function like a grappling hook. And then, you know, at some point, I was thinking to myself, oh, you can unlock levels, so it would be so cool if the game would save that you'd unlock the levels, so you didn't have to unlock the levels again when you load the game. But then I was like, oh, I'll just use a text file. I like text files, and then you can edit the text file if you want as the player. But then it just didn't work. It just didn't work, and I don't know why. I copied it from a project where it did work, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. Nothing worked. I was reading from the text file, and it always would just give me a square bracket, just a single square bracket, not 2, just 1. There was not a square bracket in there. That was not what was in there. I don't know why it was doing that. And then eventually I decided, you know what? I give up. I hate this. I hate everything. I hate this. It sucks. I hate this. So I'm gonna use ini files. I'm gonna use an ini file. I know how ini files work. I've used those before. I've used them before to great success. So what I did was I made it use ini files, and it did the same thing. It was giving me a square bracket. It was returning a square bracket. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I again copied it from a project where it worked. It didn't work. It wasn't working. Why wasn't it working? I don't know why it wasn't working. I don't know why it wasn't working. Why was it working? I don't know. But then I gave up again. I gave up on the ini files. I followed a tutorial from Sara Spalding, and all my problems went away, and it was beautiful, and the game saves, and the game works. It just works. It's like Fallout 4. It just works. I did want to give up on adding saving for the demo specifically that I'm working on, but I made a different game, and I got a lot of feedback on this game, a lot of comments. A lot of them were people talking about how they were upset that their progress didn't save because they wanted to play the game in multiple sittings, which I didn't expect. I thought people were just going to play it and then leave halfway through, or they'd finish it and then they wouldn't come back. but people actually wanted to, you know, play through some of it, leave it, and then come back later and finish it. And that's cool. I think that's cool that people wanted to do that. And with the implementation from this game, I made it pretty reusable to other games as well. It's just these two functions, a file name and an array is all I need. I also made it so that the settings that I added into the game will also save. There's only two settings right now. There's just sound volume and music volume. And those save to a separate file. And the reason they save to a separate file is because I have a reset progress button, but I don't want resetting the progress to reset your settings. The array that holds the values that all the settings get saved to it just looks like this. Each setting has its own index within the array, and it pulls from that index when the game starts, and updates that index before the game's saved. And if you even freaking care, this is the array for the levels. I've got a couple other things that I've done. Like, I've made enemies. I've made changes to the regular enemy. I've got sound effects, some pretty cool sound effects. They're kind of awesome and cool and awesome. And there's just like a couple handful of other mechanics that can be in the levels that aren't enemies or aliens. But I'm not gonna talk about them because I have been taking way too long to make this video, and I'm done and I'm sick of it, and I'm gonna put those in a different video because I'm sick of this one. So thank you. Bye.